Brutal honesty. If you're not into AI now, you're not just behind, you are in danger. The competitors are coming out of the woodwork. They're doing things faster, cheaper. The gap is not just growing, it's exploding. I've spent nearly a decade in AI, building it, breaking it, and seeing what actually works. So I'll be calling BS on the bad advice.
And I'll be here to keep it human as we go up in the AI.
I'm James.
I'm Tanya, and welcome to Up in the AI. So, James, lots of people are saying that you need to focus or prioritize on AI like right now. What do you say? Is this real or is this just BS bad advice?
Honestly, I think it's real. There's a lot of scare tactics out there. I'll take that. There's a lot of BS that goes along with those scare tactics. But being honest, AI is here to stay. Is changing lives, not just businesses. It's changing everything that we do. So, if you're not adopting it now, you can get away with it maybe if you're a plumber for now. But even then, that it could massively improve your sales, your all the things that plumbers can't do because they're actually on site doing the work, all of the communication. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You should be adopting AI, right?
Yeah. And you mentioned scaremongering. So,
Mm.
what are the things that you think people are saying or organizations are saying that is those scaremongering tactics? What should people be aware of if they hear this?
I mean, I think that the main one is AI is going to replace all humans. I mean, maybe it will in 5 to 10 years, but as of right now, it's not really that. It's more the people using AI are going to be replacing the people that aren't using AI. And you can see it's like any time we have an innovation, like, the market explodes and that actually creates more opportunities. But if you sit there burying your head in the sand, if you're an individual in a 9 to 5 and you're not trying to impress your employers, not trying to adopt AI, I would be very concerned about my job because some new person is going to give in their CV and the specialist with the exact same experience as you. Plus, they
Yeah.
know how to use ChatGPT, so they're 1.5 times more efficient. Who are they going to keep?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm seeing it more and more that businesses are actually bringing in AI experts to diagnose their business, seeing where they can potentially, implement AI to, as you said earlier, make things more efficient, faster, streamlined. So, part of that is I think you probably get a bit of support there or training, but you definitely want to be placing yourself ahead of the curve rather than just sitting there waiting for it to happen. Because you're right, the risk is yeah, you're out the door. It's horrible to say that, but I think it's going to be quite brutal in the next couple of years how businesses are going to get rid of people.
Yeah, I mean, AI is going to shake up everything. And it doesn't matter how altruistic the business owner is, if they cannot afford to keep you,
Yeah.
if you've not proven your worth, if you've not doubled your efficiency through using AI, then you're gone. It's not going to be their fault. Yes, there's going to be some bad players that just go lay off staff because they can double, triple, quadruple margins without the staff using AI. But most average businesses, business owners, are just going to be sitting there going, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay my staff. AI is driving down the cost of delivery, which is driving down prices. And people are doing things for cheaper or doing things more efficiently. Or in some cases, there is actually AI platforms that are completely replacing certain tasks. Like, what are they going to do? That they're in a rock and a hard place, or they will be. And so you as an individual, you've got two choices. You can either adopt it or you can just say goodbye to your income. But if you think about it, you can either adopt AI in the role that you are right now. I think this is an awesome opportunity for people because it's not AI, it's not these random AI experts that are going to come in and somehow steal your jobs. It's the people with the exact same experience as you, the people that have lived it, that just know how to use AI to make things that little bit better. If you make things that little bit better for 10, 15 tasks, that compounds. Or your other option is you can dive right into AI and start some sort of AI related business. And I think, again, it's a similar concept because you still want to be that expert. You want to retain that experience that you've lived, but then you just want to be teaching AI to other people that are just a few steps behind you.
I love that you've kind of really touched upon the opportunity. I think, going back to the scaremongering, there is a lot of that out there. And, it can get very easy to get caught up in that and starting to like doomsday, like your future, where actually you're right. You can, very quickly, there's a lot of readily available information out there to help you and people out there that you can kind of figure out a little bit more about how to use AI. And you're right. I think the human aspect to this is still absolutely vital in the business. I think business owners it'd be nuts if they just completely got rid of all of their stuff, because you're right, that intimate knowledge that they have about their customers, the processes, the things, definitely from the customer's point of view, like understanding what the customer goes through in terms of like how they deal with your company, like the touch points that they have, the pain points that they have. And yes, AI can be quite good at kind of coming up with looking at ways in which that might be an issue, but the intimate knowledge of what actually are like the real pain points, the human pain points, is going to be so vital for businesses. So I love the fact that you've touched on the opportunity. So if you were to give someone where would people start if they were to, think, okay, I'm going to take advice and do
I
something
think
with it?
I'll say one thing before I answer that question, because you
Yeah.
highlighted something that's key
Yeah.
that needs to be emphasized. This is the human factor. So there's a couple of things you need to know. So one, I work, as you know, predominantly in AI powered sales. So we're enabling sales teams and founders to be more productive, to convert more clients. And where the AI is positioned, it's to get rid of the admin. It's to do the things quickly that, humans need to do, but they can't because, they have to take toilet breaks. They have to eat lunch and go to sleep. So it's these things that humans can't do. But what it does is it opens up a salesperson's calendar so they can do the things they want to do that are human, having those conversations, building that rapport. So let's look at it just from the start to the finish. So you get a lead from an ad. The AI gives an instant response. It uses data enrichment to personalize it. Okay, so you've got that foot in the door, because we know that 78% of humans go with the very first provider that contacts you. So the AI has done that bit. Then it provides a conversation, like it uses conversational AI to get that person booked in to a real person's calendar, right? So now you've got the human part, but you have this added little extra piece where the AI has provided a meeting prep. So the salesperson doesn't have to go around, look at LinkedIn, look at the website, look at all of these different things. It can just look on a cheat sheet. And then and then that person will be much quicker to build rapport. You go through a couple of meetings, and then you have AI use those transcripts to automatically generate proposals. And again, the human can just ring up, go, hey, how did you go with the proposal? Blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's the human is being the human, and the AI is doing all of the other work, meaning that the person in sales, is going to have way more conversations. Does it
Mm.
make sense?
Yeah. Totally makes sense. Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely.
I think the other piece of this is creativity. So as we see, you even see it now. You go into ChatGPT and everyone is getting the same output, the same advice. Give me this marketing plan. Give me this creative, this ad, this post. Well, because it's all trained on the same data, everyone is getting the same shit, right? So my prediction is we're going to see a lot of weird and wonderful stuff come out in the next few years. This is humans proving that they're human by being weird. And you'll have this 90% of businesses that sit here just with the regurgitated AI bullshit. And then the 10% that are successful, they'll be zigging while AI is zagging.
Yeah. Okay. So for those out there, we've kind of gone into this with AI ought to be a priority for you right now. And if you're not prioritizing AI, at least in some way, it's not that you're just going to get left behind. You're going to find yourself in a very challenging situation. So could you paint a little picture of like what the future would look like if someone was just to ignore AI?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just think if you're talking about a business owner, their business won't survive. If you're talking about somebody in a job and you refuse to use it, you'll be replaced by somebody who's up for using it, probably younger, cheaper, more efficient. The you know, it's one of those ones. Like if you don't do it, if you just flat out refuse, I think you're screwed. But all you have to do is take little steps. So when we say AI must be prioritized right now, that doesn't mean you need to be an expert. It doesn't mean that you somehow need to know the 10 top tools inside and out. It means that you take little steps. So, one thing that I've seen, I think it's bad advice. I think it's just general bad strategy. Business owners and operators, they try to do it all. They try to do these complex workflows. They're trying to pull examples off YouTube and like, how can I attribute this to my business? How can I attribute this to my business? The truth is, all you need is a business first mindset, meaning you need to understand what the problems are within your business and then how to solve them. But you usually solve these manually, unscalably. Then you would add some automations. And that doesn't even need to be AI. That can just be simple step by step automations. And then you amplify that with AI. It's these three simple steps: understand the problem and how to solve it, a quick, simple automation, and then amplify that by AI. And then it's just rinse and repeat. And only attribute AI to the parts of your business that actually need it. The things that you're already doing that either have blockers or that are just that are perfectly fit for amplification.
Okay, gotcha in theory, but could you give some more examples just so that we can dive a bit deeper into that?
Yeah, okay. So if we're thinking problems to be solved in business, I wouldn't try and solve these huge mountains yet, especially if you're just getting started with AI. You look at little time drains. So, one that I see often is meeting transcripts, right? Everyone jumps into meetings now. Most people are using things like Fathom or these other note takers, or they're sitting in a boardroom, recording the call. The people are getting long transcripts, but they're just not really doing anything with it. It's going into you know ghost data land. That's all that
Yeah.
ever happened. So, I mean, a very, very simple solution is to create a GBT. I've created a few for clients where we add the background, who are the employees, what are their jobs, what does the company do? And then you can have different GBTs for internal meetings or external meetings. You can even build it into one GBT if you want. And then by the GBT having that knowledge, it's much, much better than like the general summaries you get from these AI tools. So with Fathom, it will just do generic bullet point talking points. But when you've got the context, so the AI actually understands what the business is all about, can give much, much better summaries and action points. Does it
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, I mean, for those out there, I know we're going very basic here, but I think that it's important to make sure that we are covering off all bases for anyone listening. So, when you're talking about GPTs, create a GPT, what is that?
Okay. So inside of ChatGPT, so ChatGPT is an LLM, which means that it's all about language. It's a large language model. You talk to it, and it's got all of this history that it uses to give you an answer. Now, there's two things inside of ChatGPT, for example, that you can use to kind of like focus ChatGPT to give better answers. One is projects, and the other is a GBT. They both have a similar premise. Essentially, it is you can pre-prompt ChatGPT so it understands a specific topic. So rather than ChatGPT being like, it could talk about everything from cooking to business to anime, everything under the sun, it's got system instructions inside of the GBT or the project that says, we're talking about this, this, this. On top of that, both projects and GBTs have knowledge bases. That means you can add key documentation for your company. It could be what it is that you do. It could be your staff list and what their roles are. It could be the meeting template output and examples of good meeting transcripts or meeting notes. So all of that put together, it's essentially pre-prompting ChatGPT. And then when you use the difference between a project and a GBT really is projects are often used internally, whereas a GBT can be handed around to multiple people, both inside the organization and outside of the organization. Does that kind of clear it up?
Yeah, it does. And I can just add in there, like, from my personal experience, how when you taught me how to actually create my own GPT, which was so much more simple than I thought it was going to be, because I knew about them for a while, but it was like, I'm not that. No, that's like out of my range. But then you gave this really simple step by step. I think it was like 8 steps, and it was like magic once it had done, because there were things that I was constantly framing what ChatGPT like. I almost felt like you ought to know this by now. Like we've covered this on multiple times, but actually, it starts to get lost in start to get lost in the thread the more you go on. So it's like almost being absolutely getting more confidence that what you're going to get out is much more specific and related to what you want rather than, as you say, just getting more of a generalized response. And then sometimes what's that term where it goes, has a hallucination and it just throws something out. You're like, what's that? So yeah, I just emphasizing that I think that it's creating your own GPT for things is, I would say, one of the most valuable things. If you were to learn something new today, go learn about that, because I think that, as you say, can be used in multiple ways. Um, you mentioned something here which I think is really important. Getting very specific and actually focusing on the small tasks. I think that's something that I struggled with, because I've gone in trying to like fix the world, and it's like actually get really specific. Could you give us some more examples on what of those things can be?
Again, it's a language model, so anything with content is a big win. So let's say I think the first place people start is in helping them reply to emails. Now, it's everything compounds, right? So you start small and then you don't stop. You just keep iterating and iterating and iterating. So
Yeah,
let's say you jump into ChatGPT for the first time and you say, here's what I do, and here's this email, help me write it. Right. And you'll see those dashes, the EM dashes, the Oxford commas, the things that say, hey, this is AI writing this email.
yeah,
And you go, okay, well, I don't want those things. And that's when you create a project or a GBT again, and you start saying, right, this is how I talk. Here's some examples.
yeah,
And then it gets a little bit better. And then you might go and feed ChatGPT a load of your content and say, hey, give me a tone of voice. And by the way, I created a tone of voice, I don't know, a year ago now. I probably should look at updating it, but I use it in every single project, BT, and even like automation through Make and NA10. Like it all refers to my tone of voice because that's how I want the AI to talk. That's
yeah.
what differentiates me from 99% of the other people that use ChatGPT.
Hmm.
Like ChatGPT sounds much more like me. So then you might in that project you go, right, I want it to talk like me. Here's my tone of voice document. And then you keep using it. You
Yeah,
go, right, God. 4 or 5 times I've had to tell ChatGPT this thing, this piece of knowledge about me or this product.
yeah,
So why not put that into the system instructions? Why not add information about that product into the knowledge base? And then you don't have to do it anymore. So suddenly, well, not suddenly, it's actually the exact opposite of suddenly. You are eventually teaching it more and more and more and more. And then that knowledge base can then be applied to other things. So that's where you go from, okay, now I've used ChatGPT to make my life better. Now I'm going to automate something end to end. I don't have to start from scratch. I don't have to give a developer all these instructions. I just go, hey, this is what I did with my GBT. Can you take it to the next level? So information comes in, goes through all of those processes automatically, and information comes out.
yep. Any other examples that you can think of that would just be really beneficial if someone is leaning into this for the first time?
I would say always, I mean, I'm biased because I'm in sales, but I would say always start around sales and marketing. Well, you got your admin stuff first, like we talked about. These are easy tasks to automate. The AI has less room for causing you issues. When you start to think of it, if you're launching a business or you're implementing it into an existing business, I would then focus on sales and marketing. Reason being is sales and marketing is more cookie cutter than other aspects of a business. When you go into service delivery, everything is unique. It's unique to the industry, it's unique to the business, it's unique to the people. So automating processes in that respect is hard. That means you have to map out your processes. It means you have to clean up your data. Like there's a lot of stuff to do
Hmm.
with sales and marketing, like there are templates out there, there are best practices. And, with marketing, you can train it up on your tone of voice and your company background, and then you can be getting automated social media posts. With sales, the main thing you need to do is just get your CRM in place. You need to have your customer data right. But that's where I would, after doing the admin stuff, I would go sales and marketing. And that also is great because it's like 60, 70% of businesses are demand constrained, meaning they need help getting new clients.
Yeah, and everybody wants new clients, 'cause more revenue, more choice of things to do.
And
Awesome.
that's a direct return on investment. And that's the thing that businesses don't think about. It's like they go, I want to create, a voice receptionist, right? Do you have a receptionist now? No. Do you get many calls now? No.
Yeah.
What's your biggest blocker? I need more money. Why do you need
Yeah.
what do you need to get money? I need more clients.
And then you'll
Th-
need the receptionist. Yeah,
Yeah, then
exactly.
this is the seesaw of supply and demand. Most people
Gotcha.
are trying to solve supply issues
Mm,
when really they need to fill up their pipeline with so many customers and leads that
yep.
they break the business, and then you can see what broke and what needs to be sorted on the supply side.
Yeah, amazing. Let's wrap it up there. What I've noted down, I think it's really important just to recap, is that someone wanting to get in, like, now is the time to be focusing on an AI. If you're going to do it, and you ought to do it based on what we've been saying today, you want to start small, look into creating GPTs. I know that you've actually created something because I've used it, right? Is it in the community, in the Make Money with AI community?
There's lots of GBTs in there that I've put out. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. So you can certainly start there if you want.
And there's
And
loads
think
of
about,
templates on how to create your own GBTs. In fact, there's a GBT to help you create GBTs, which is essentially meta prompting. We can talk about another time.
yeah, that's it. Perfect. So Make Money with AI, school community, jump in, it's free. Yeah, and start to think about the small little things that happen daily that eke into your time. How can you be a bit more efficient?
Yeah, I would say the big takeaway should be, should I start using AI now? Yes, 100%. This is your window because there's still people on the fence. If you start now before they get off the fence, you get ahead of them. This is the opportunity. The window of opportunity is right now.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you next time.